not too many there in the national office or full-time paid. But he is a lawyer who works specifically on gay and lesbian issues.
You know, are you a member of the ACLU?
Yes.
Right, so I'm a card-carrying member of the ACLU. I'm proud to say, and I've been for many years. I cannot think of a better organization and more important. You know, and I remember
Do what?
they take everybody's side. I mean,
That's right. I asked him.
Put your earmuffs on.
yes.
I don't have them.
When you have
They're
some
nice.
other side you don't agree with. He said, well, usually I don't get those cases. I make sure somebody else.
Well, even if they don't agree with them, they still agree with the principles behind civil liberties and civil
That's
rights.
right. That's right.
They put up, if you've ever, you know, there's a worthwhile organization that we really encourage you to support. You can look on the phone under American Civil Liberties Union and find out about it and join and send them the $50 a year to be a member because they are right there in the forefront doing their business. So, well, I think we should get to the interview.
Okay.
So here is Dr. Mary Ann Humphreys interview with William Rubenstein.
Well, it's Rubenstein. He said, you know, Bruce Springsteen. So that's why I remember it.
I stand corrected. William Rubenstein of the ACLU, as is you.
Yes. Today we're very fortunate to have as a guest for night scene William or Bill Rubenstein, who is the director of the Lesbian and Gay Project for the ACLU in the national office in New York. And today I'm going to sort of give Bill a chance to talk about what the ACLU is all about, what they're doing for gays and lesbians in our community, and just let him tell us what's out there for the future for gays and lesbians in the United States. Bill, how did you come about getting on board with the ACLU and the national office?
Well, it's a good question. I've been working at the national office since 1987. I got out of law school in 1986. And the ACLU had just started a national lesbian and gay rights project. A woman named Nan Hunter was the first director of the project. And when they announced that Nan was going to be the director of this project, I basically started sending her letters every day telling her I wanted to work for her. She had long been one of my heroes in the law and kind of a leader in pushing for our rights in the legal arena for a long time. And I joined the staff in 1987, really starting to do AIDS work. And for several years it was Nan and myself as the project. Nan left in 1990, and since then I've been the director of the projects, and we currently have 5 attorneys working with the project in New York, and we have a full-time lobbyist in Washington who works out of the ACLU's legislative office there. A lot of what we do at the national office of the ACLU is work with our affiliates all over the country. We are a national civil rights, civil liberties organization, and we have 52 state affiliates and 300 chapters all over the United States. And a lot of our work is to be a resource and a backup center for them. What we try to do is go out and teach our affiliates about gay rights issues and try to give them more power to do these issues, more resources, more information, and more support to help them do as much as they can. At the same time, our staff also does our own litigation and policy work on issues that are of national importance, either against the federal government, like the military issue, or on cases in different states that have the potential of setting a national precedent for one reason or another.
So is that part of the parameter when you take a case that it will have national precedence more than just somebody's civil rights? I mean, I know that sounds sort of like a trite question, but is that what you're really looking for when you pick up a case?
Yeah, well, we're looking for test cases more or less, and this is true of the ACLU affiliates as well as the national office, although each of our affiliates decides what cases they want to get into on their own. And we do the same at the national office to some extent. We all have limited resources, and because of that, we can't do every case that we get asked to do. We get hundreds of letters from people all over the United States looking for us to do their cases, and we just don't have the ability to do them all. What we look for is a case that has the potential of setting a precedent that will affect a broad range of people. So rather, for instance, in the military context, we can't help every gay person who's discharged from the military, unfortunately. The military admits kicking out 1,500 people a year, so I think they kick out a lot more than that. And we can't represent all of them, but what we try to do is find a case where we could change the policy itself.
No.
For a test case that will have the effect.
I'm in a dumpy motel room watching Portland public television. These weird programs from the 80s. The last one was better. Some old rocker creepy old dude. Well, I don't know.
As you said, the resources, they did
Kinda
not see,
pervy.
I guess they just didn't see it as
And now I've got this ACLU stuff.
I was being kicked out
I
because
guess
I
it's
was
okay.
and a captive of 9 years at that point. But I went on to other things and wrote the book, so kind of like that took care of it for me, and I think that helped probably more than
Buzz,
anything
buzz,
else in the
buzz.
community of sort of validating that there's lots of folks this is happening to. But on that same question, though, obviously I have some input from the speech you gave last night, so I'll pull in some of those questions, and that's why I didn't ask last night. But you talked about President Clinton and what happened there. Can you
Clinton.
give your feelings on how
President
you
Clinton.
saw what came down?
Yeah, but my feelings about it are feelings of betrayal and frustration. I think
Yeah.
that
Betrayal and frustration.
we are worse off today in November of 1993
This is America.
than we were a year ago before President Clinton got elected in November of 1993.
Betrayal and frustration.
The military policy dating back to the 1940s was always a regulation, and it was a regulation developed by the Defense Department. And because of that, it always could have been changed by the Defense Department alone, either slowly or in one fell swoop, as we had hoped Clinton would do. Now we've got a law. Congress has passed a law, and it's going to be a law. And the only way you can change a law is if the entire United States Congress changes the law, or if the courts declare it unconstitutional, which they've been somewhat unwilling to do. So we've gone from having a regulation barring gay people in the military to having a law, which is worse. We've also gone, I mean, I think
It only gets worse and worse too, bud.
look at this as Clinton floated the idea of lifting the ban. He never got support for that in Congress, and I think quite strongly he never fought to get support for that in Congress. And then in the end just backed down and agreed to Sam Nunn's position on the issue. What was most frustrating to me about what the president did was two things. One, where he didn't stand up and fight for his principle. And second, in the end, I just found it debilitating that he got on TV and called this a compromise. I think it was dishonest, and I think it was it lacked integrity on his part. I would have much rather he came out and said, I wanted to change his policy, I didn't have the political clout to do it, and I lost. And now the policy is staying the way it is. But to come out on TV and say that this was a compromise is just untrue.
Boom.
In that same
Mic drop,
regard,
dunking on
the vote
Clinton.
in Congress that was almost 3-1. There was a comment you made about those who said the military is different. How do you see that as civil rights for gays and lesbians in the private public sector?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know what to make of what happened in Congress. The lesson I
Alright, that's kind of boring. Bye-bye.
It's striking to me to hear liberal senators refer to us as homosexuals in 1993. We are lesbians and gay men, and we are still referred to in the paradigm that